I was 39 years old before I would consider the possibility of mental illness in my life. Even then, during the 6-month battle with severe anxiety that hit me that year, I viewed it as an aberration. I thought it was like when I had mumps and chickenpox as a child. Really weird and disconcerting, but something that would just go away at some point. Oddly, it wasn't like I'd never had to talk about mental health issues. I worked in politics. I had been elected to the Washington State Senate at age 25 and the U.S. Congress at 31. I regularly met with mental health advocates. We discussed the need for greater public policy support for people with mental health issues and the importance of increasing funding for mental health services. Several times a year, I had these meetings. I strongly supported the efforts of these advocates. Sometime in the early 2000s, one of these meetings was wrapping up when one of the advocates asked a final question. Have you or anyone in your family ever had a mental health issue? I paused for a second before saying, no. My hesitation wasn't because I was wondering about what the correct answer was. I hesitated because the first thing that popped into my head was an emphatic, of course not. And I could sense by the way the woman had asked the question that such a dismissive answer wasn't going to go over well. I had to at least appear like I didn't think the question had such an obvious answer in the negative. I just didn't think of mental illness as applying to a normal person like me. Mental illness was one flew over the cuckoo's nest. It was the guy at the bus stop rocking back and forth and mumbling to himself about the power of the Lord Almighty. It was Ted Bundy, son of Sam, crazy people. I was wrong about that. Normal people struggle with mental illness all the time, and what constitutes normal in the first place is something none of us should be so quick to judge. That raises the question, what does rise to the level of being considered a mental health issue? And the follow-up, what exactly needs to be happening to you for you to decide to seek help? It helps in answering these questions to consider them from the perspective of what one does in response to physical health issues, and to understand that in both cases, the answer is not always easy. Health, both physical and mental, at the most basic level involves two sets of decisions: treatment and prevention. Ouch, that hurts. Do I need to do something about it? And if I take these actions, maybe then I won't wind up in pain or discomfort in the first place. You have a headache. It could be a tumor, but probably not. You don't immediately get an MRI. You either ride it out or take some over-the-counter pain medication. This example combines my two basic points. First, don't ignore healthcare problems. Address them and take appropriate action. Second, appropriate action requires thought. The amount of thought will vary depending on the problem, but both our bodies and our healthcare system are complicated enough that we all need to spend at least some time considering how to address the healthcare challenges facing us.